How's that for a dramatic intro? Okay, so I have the new Batman and Robin Adventures Omnibus from DC Comics. Only just came out, I think today, or at least it arrived for me today on the 10th of July. This is another massive hardcover collection of Batman the Animated Series tie-in comic books. This time it's the series Batman and Robin Adventures, which was the second Batman Animated Series tie-in comic book. Ran for 25 issues, 2 annuals and a couple of specials and miniseries and so on. And this collection has them all. Pretty much them all. So just want to show you the dust jacket. You can see here. Look at that, new Batman Adventures designs. So this is a reference to the Lost Years miniseries, which takes place between the end of Batman the Animated Series and the beginning of the new Batman Adventures. Shows what Dick Grayson was up to when he ran off and travelled the world to learn new skills. Just wanted to show the inside cover here, the hardcover. And let's have a look at the back page as well. Oh, that's a nice one with all the villains there. Delightful collection here. I'm going to move the dust jacket away just to make things a little easier for me. So how does this compare to the Batman Adventures Omnibus? Well, I think it compares pretty favourably. It is quite a complete collection. Now, there is one thing missing, in my opinion, and that was a short story by Bruce Timm and Paul Dini that ran in Adventures in the DC Universe, a kind of a pseudo-animated series DC comic, where Poison Ivy attacked a cruise liner that Bruce Wayne was on. It was only like, I don't know, 4 pages or something, but I thought it might be included in here because when the contents was released, they said, oh yeah, it includes every issue of Batman and Robin Adventures, the annuals, the Subzero movie adaptation, and issue 1 to 6 of the Lost Years, plus more. Well, I thought, oh, more, what could that be? That could potentially be that Adventures in the DC Universe story with Poison Ivy. No, it's not. It's not. I'm going to spoil it for you now. Hang on. Yeah, my hand's covering it. It is... I'm not even sure if you can see that because my camera is slightly obscured. It is production art from Batman and Mr. Freeze Subzero. So, I mean, I'll just jump straight to that. That'll be the thing. So it's some character designs. Here we go. So you can see here there's a Batman model sheet with color guides. So that's Batman in the flames. That's just Batman. That's just Batman in black and white. You get Mr. Freeze, Victor Freeze with his broken leg. Mr. Victor Freeze, that was very formal of me, in his swimming shorts, and then some Mr. Freeze shots. And then these ones I think are really nice. So these are some backgrounds. I don't know who would have done these, probably not Ted Blackman, because I think he'd moved on by that point. I'd have to look at the credits actually to find out who did these. And then you get some more backgrounds here. So that's a nice little extra to have, but, you know, for 4 pages... I probably would have preferred to have that Poison Ivy story. Oh, actually, no, it's more than 4 pages. There's some Robin ones here. Okay, 6 pages, my mistake. But yeah, I would have preferred to have the Poison Ivy story, honestly. But then again, this is, you know, relatively not unseen, but uncommon production artwork. They don't actually show a lot of production art from Batman the Animated Series. There's the Batman animated book that came out like 25 years ago. There hasn't really been much else since then. But anyway, rather than moaning about what isn't in here, let's just quickly go over what is in here. So I love this little, I was going to say like a checkerboard, but that's not really a checkerboard. But this grid here of all the different characters in there. And we can see, how many pages was this again? Was it? Let me say it's on this side. It's over 900 pages. With an introduction by Ty Templeton and a foreword by Scott Peterson. Was it Scott Peterson? Yeah, Scott Peterson, who was the editor on this series. And he would go on to write many issues of Gotham Adventures, the new Batman Adventures tie-in series. I think it's the first 3 of these are written by Paul Dini, and Paul Dini also wrote the first annual. My favourite story in the whole bunch, funnily enough, is the first one here, which is a Two-Face story called Two-Timer. I love the artwork in this. It's Ty Templeton again, one of the best I think, for the DC Animated Universe tie-in artists. Absolutely, any day of the week. I mean, Rick Burchett's pretty good as well. But then when you have... I think Rick Burchett worked on this one too, actually. Let me just look at the credits. He was the inker here, so perhaps it's the combo of Ty Templeton and Rick Burchett that's the real dream team. But anyway, this is just wonderful. I've talked about this story in my Two-Face videos, but the Joker convinces Two-Face, or Harvey Dent at this point, because he's going through treatment and he is recovering. He convinces Two-Face that Bruce Wayne is going to marry Grace and that they're cheating they are cheating on him. That makes it sound like he's in a relationship with both of them. Now there's an idea. That Grace is cheating on him with his best friend, and he becomes enraged, and it sets him back massively. And the Joker, when asked why he did it, he said because it was Tuesday, and then just laughs. But yeah, Two-Face goes on a rampage, kidnaps Grace and Bruce Wayne, and is going to murder... He's going to murder Bruce and Dick. Fortunately, they are Batman and Robin, so they are able to escape. And I really love just the sad ending of this, where you can see that Two-Face has been arrested. Let me just move that up a little bit so you can see it a bit clearer. Grace speaks to him and walks away crying, and she makes it clear that their relationship is over because he didn't trust her. Apparently this was originally planned, or maybe just thought of being an episode, but it never got made. So having these tie-in comics there to produce unmade episodes is just a wonderful thing. And Paul Dini wrote this one about the Riddler as well. To be honest, I don't remember very much about this one, so I'm going to have to reread it. I haven't actually gone through this in massive detail because I only got it a couple of hours ago and I've just finished work, so jumping straight into it. And some Penguin appearances here. Let's go through this a little quicker. There is... this was quite a good one, this Joker story. I remember the art being a little bit weird. Not familiar with Tim Harkins, but yeah, he kind of draws... You can see here, when you look at that Joker, his proportions are a little bit unusual. But it is very cartoony, and you can tell it is meant to be the animated Batman. Though I like his Bullock, and I think that's because Bullock is kind of an oddly shaped man anyway. Oh, and there's an appearance from Lockup. Although in these comics, he has got blonde hair, because if he had black hair, he would too closely resemble the Punisher. So they gave him blonde hair. In my mind, Lyle Bolton just was wanting to go through a change, so he changed his hair. But yes, what's this one? All right, no, that one's fine. Rick Burchett illustrated this one, so... I remember Bruce Timm reading an interview with Bruce Timm where he said that Rick Burchett was the best DC Animated Universe tie-in comic artist, and you know he is great. He's really good. No disrespect to Rick Burchett, but I prefer Ty Templeton actually. But again, this stuff is great, very authentic. I always reference this Scarface story in my videos whenever talking about ventriloquist and Scarface. So this is the one that shows off... Oops, I've gone too far. Shows off or talks about, I should say, the ventriloquist's origins, witnessing his mother being killed in a drive-by, and how he just kind of retreated inside of himself, didn't want anything to do with his family's... the crime family that his family belonged to. But it manifested itself in the form of that guy, Scarface. Can't really see him there. There we go. I need to pick up the pace because, you know, this is only supposed to be a quick video. Did Paul Dini write this one as well? Yes, he did. He wrote this one about Poison Ivy hypnotizing Robin through a kiss and having him join her team with Harley Quinn and all of the struggles they had. I think, if I remember rightly, Harley was less keen about having Robin on board. Yes, in fact, she gives him the antidote. I mentioned Harley Quinn as being a perennial third wheel in one of my videos. And this is kind of what I was alluding to there. But yeah, the fact that this comic had people from the show writing the scripts, in my mind, makes these canon. Even if they don't quite fit, like, should be coming up on the annual soon. This one is not the annual. This is one with Man-Bat, yes. Let's have a look. Let's pick up the pace. Dun, 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 dun. No, this is the one I referenced with Bane as well. So this one doesn't exactly contradict what happens with Bane in the new Batman Adventures, but it's not quite the same, because he gives up Venom and tries to kill Rupert Thorne in penance to Batman, but he ends up going to prison. But he could end up getting back on the Venom. Now, this was the one I wanted to talk about. The annual one, written by Paul Dini. It's called Shadow of the Phantasm, as we can see here. It's the sequel to Mask of the Phantasm. And, yeah, it's about the Phantasm's return to Gotham. And I should probably skip the rest of it, because I don't want to show you who the person that is trying to kill Bruce Wayne to lure the Phantasm out is. But yeah, I'll show you that last page. There she says, "Goodbye, my love," again. Oh, it breaks my heart every time. But yeah, so there's 25 issues of Batman and Robin Adventures. I think, was that the first Deadman in this one? Was it this series that had Deadman, or was it Gotham Adventures? No, there he is. There he is. Here we go. Nice cover there, mimicking a circus poster. And that's kind of why you don't see an origin for Deadman in Justice League Unlimited, because the comics did it. This one doesn't. It's Gotham Adventures, I think, is when we see Boston Brand's fate. Yeah, because you can see here Dick Grayson saves him. Spoilers. Let's just keep moving, get past all of these. I mean, these are all wonderful comics, well worth a read. One here that does slightly contradict events of the shows is this one about the Huntress. You can see here that they're showing the Huntress as an adult when her family were killed. But in the cartoon, she was a child when her parents were killed. And obviously the costume's different, but, you know, if you kind of squint, it sort of fits, and if it doesn't fit, then you can just ignore it, and, you know, the stuff that does fit, keep that in mind. Let's keep going. Another great Two-Face story. I'll just highlight this. Where is it? No, this isn't it. Yes, so the Two-Face gets kidnapped by gangsters, and he runs out, and they're going to get Grace in order to make him cooperate with them, and he uses his coin to call Grace to tell her to get free, and then smashes up the phone booth to get his coin back, but gets caught in the process. It's another one of my favourites. This Adventures Annual, Batman and Robin Adventures Annual, excuse me, I don't remember liking this one very much. It's not bad per se. It's got some flashbacks to when Bruce Wayne was training with Zatara the Magician. I just never really felt that interested in it, but it was written by Hilary Bader. Okay, I should probably read it again as an adult, and maybe I'll feel differently about it. Let's keep moving. So we'll get to here. I think this is the comic where they refer to Killer Croc as Waylon Jones, which is why I always say that Killer Croc's name is Waylon Jones. He just wrestled under the name of Killer Croc Morgan. And then there's one with Poison Ivy, shows her running off, and then Batman with aliens, yes, little flying saucers and Ra's al Ghul, and the Men in Black, not to be confused with the Sony property. Right, so this is the thing that I find a little contentious. So we end Batman Adventures, or Batman and Robin Adventures, I should say, and then jump straight into the Lost Years, which, okay, is the story of how Dick Grayson fell out with Batman and what he did when he ran off. And then it kind of partially adapts New Batman Adventures episodes Old Wounds and Sins of the Father, and adds some extra scenes. So, for instance, here, after punching Batman and jumping away, we cut to Dick Grayson in the Batcave dropping his costume off and saying he wants to get the money out of his trust fund because he's going on a trip. And then Batman's like, "I wish you luck, Rob, Dick. I hope you find what you're looking for." And then we get, you know, some adventures with Dick Grayson and a bit more backstory for Tim Drake here with his dad. But the thing I find contentious about this omnibus, that should have been the ending of the book. Subzero, okay, I get it, the book was published after Lost Years. The original comic was published after Lost Years. I get that. But it should have been back here, after the new, before the Lost Years begins. because it just reads weirdly that Dick Grayson's gone off and become Nightwing, and now, oh look, here we go, here he is, Dick Grayson with his short hair, trying to woo Barbara Gordon again, and he's got his Robin costume. I get why they did it this way. They're following the chronological publication, but I think they should have just switched it around for the purposes of just a more cohesive read, I think. But anyway, that's basically it. I've talked way too long. I've done like 15 minutes on this. I'm going to try and cut it down a little bit. I think it's a great collection. I hope DC starts to do omnibus collections for Gotham Adventures. Maybe include things like Gotham Girls and Batgirl Adventures #1 and any other specials that were published at the time. Let me know if you're going to try and pick this up yourselves. I highly recommend it. I think for the price, which was what, $75 in the US, I got this for £45 from Forbidden Planet. That's actually, I think it's cheaper, or at least a similar price to buying all of the soft cover trade paperbacks, because there's what, 3 for the Adventures of Batman and Robin, might be 4. I think there's 3, and none of them, I don't think any of them include Subzero. Lost Years, you can get that in a Nightwing collection, so that would be another purchase as well. So yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.